What's going on, world? Steve Dab 317 back with part two of this 24-part series or 24-hour series of Tom MacDonald reactions. Second video I'm reacting to. I started with Dear Rappers. There's a link up here, a little icon button if you haven't already checked it out. And then this is the second video, which is Castles. We're going to jump right into it. Let's see what's next.
I see you with the liquor store, leaving with the cheapest kind of beer on the shelf. You ain't living on the street, but you barely making rent, and I relate because I'm struggling myself. I see you smile at the clerk while you fumble through your purse. I just wish I had a little more to help. I imagine where you're living, how you feeling, what you love, and who you'll be if you could make it out your hell. I see you at the bus stop, looking at the sidewalk, smoking up a cigarette, waiting for a ride. Kinda limp when you walk and look away. When you talk, you're ashamed, I can see it in your eyes. Probably got a NASCAR shirt and a car that you love, but you're here because you're too afraid to drive. It's been almost 10 years since the day that you crashed. Can't forget about the little boy's life. Everybody's got a story. If you look a little closer, you can see it in the wrinkles in their face. They can hide it in the silence, they can bury it and fight it, but it comes out when the hair is turning gray. You can feel it if you touch them, you can tell that they are troubled. You can hear the story running through their veins. We all travel different roads and we put on different clothes. Underneath it all, we're really all the same. We've all got problems and
That is so true. Like, everybody has a story. And I think sometimes if we just take a moment to actually pay attention, like, he talked about how you can look the wrinkles in people's face and kind of learn something about their story. If we take the time to pay attention to other people and sit down and have a conversation, we'll be surprised where we end up. Oftentimes, and this is what this video makes me think about, in addition to realizing that everybody's going through something or everybody has been through something. But the other thing is, like, oftentimes I think that, how do I put this? Oftentimes I think that, like, when people are going through something and then they're trying to mask it, oftentimes they're afraid of what the next person is going to say or what they may think. I read a meme once that said, every day people are dying of depression because they're afraid to share something about their life with people who are just anxious to go back and gossip about them or something along those lines. But, it's like, and it's true, it's like so many people are quick to act like they're listening, but really they're really just there to hear your story. So, like, hey, such and such is going through this. Steve Dab is suffering from, and tell the next person, as opposed to sincerely wanting to help. So, all right, let's keep it rolling.
we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We've all
I like that.
We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown. Or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. I see you sitting on the front porch playing with a radio, looking to the sky. Probably living in that house all alone these days, trying to find a better way to pass time. Got a wheelchair ramp leading up to the door. I can see that you walk just fine. Probably hate it because it isn't getting used anymore, and you only ever built it for your wife. Everywhere that I walk, see you on the sidewalk, begging for a little loose change for some dough. Probably got a mama and a papa spending everything they make, trying to clean you up enough to take you home. Used to have a good job, used to get good grades, used to have big dreams, then you lost hope. When your girlfriend died, giving birth to your son, you're the father that'll probably never know. Everybody has a tale that they're too afraid to tell. You can see it in the cracks in their hands. They can cover it with smiles if you walk a couple miles in their shoes, and you'll know where they stand. Everyone who really lived had to climb out of a ditch. They were in before they found the right path. If you want to know the truth about what we've been going through, then try to put your phone away so you can ask.
Put your phone away so you can ask. Like, we have gotten so tuned into social media, whether it's the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube even, like, and we spend so much time on it that we lose sight of interacting with actual people. And I get that those are actual, well, some of them are bots, but I get that oftentimes it's actual people. But what I mean is just face-to-face conversations, or picking up the phone, having a conversation, letting somebody know you were thinking about them, or just being a voice to listen to. Like I mentioned in my other video, I've got my eldest sister who I call her, when I'm going through things, and we have a conversation, and it means the world to me when we can do that. Um, I think one of the problems that when I say we, I'm talking about all of us collectively, maybe not you individually, but one of the problems I see that we have is that we'll look at a situation through our lens, the way we see things, and then immediately there's accusations or pointing fingers or, well, this person, they're in that situation, they're homeless, well, they all they need to do is X, Y, and Z. It's like that saying, like telling somebody you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But I mean, how does that come off to a man who has no boots? Right? So we have to look at a person's situation, yes, but at the same time, stop to ask yourself why, or stop to ask them like why, or try to figure out how did they get to where they are. Because I would imagine most people don't wake up and be like, you know what, I want to be homeless, I want to throw everything away, or I want to be addicted to drugs and turn my back on my family and friends. And people, I don't think people wake up and they have thoughts like that. So learn something about somebody's story. And as you learn more about their story, you'll be surprised. you know Stories that I've heard in my years here is like, I've heard stories of people who were in the military and got injured and just couldn't get support. I've talked about that in one of my other videos. I heard stories of people who have gotten ill and lost everything, people who went through divorces and lost everything, people who have lost their children, and they just kind of lost hope because that was what was keeping them grounded. Like, there's just so many different stories, but you gotta, like you said, get off your phone for a minute, notice what's going on around you, and talk to somebody. If you're always glued like this, like, you won't even know the people near you. You know, I was watching. I'll make this quick, but I was watching a video on YouTube once, and it was a lady, and she was on her phone doing something. Some guys jumped out of a van. They were going to kidnap her, and just at the last minute, she happened to look up, and she was able to get away. But they got that close to her because she was in her little social media or mobile zone, whatever was going on her phone, and not aware of her surroundings. And not saying it's always bad things, but somebody may be crying for help if you just look in their eyes. But if your head is always down, you will never see that. You'll never have that conversation. Yes, I can talk a lot. I realize that. I love talking. All got problems.
We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones. We are the neighbors that you'll never meet. We are the strangers walking down your street. We are a million faces in the crowd. We are the ones the system's tearing down. We are the people working to survive. We are more than just our 9 to 5s. We are the shopping malls and streetcars. We are one. It's time to tell them just who we are. We've all got problems and we all feel alone. We've all been haunted by the secrets we hold. We could fill our coffins with the rocks they have thrown, or we could build our castles with the sticks and the stones.
Build our castles with a stick and a stone. Listen, fill our coffin with the rocks they have thrown. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. And I think there's a lot to be said about that and how it relates to this song, because so often people are quick to pass judgment, you know, to throw those stones, right? And it's like they forget that they're not perfect. They forget that they've also got a peppered past, or maybe their current lifestyle is peppered. But sometimes I think people look at sinning and feel like, well, this sin is, or my sin is lesser than your sin, so I'm better than you. You know what I mean? And even subconsciously, I think people think like that, but don't really realize it. But ultimately, two things I'll say. One, a sin is a sin, right? And I don't think there's like a weighted scale of, oh well, I sin this amount, you sin this. You know what I mean? A sin is still a sin. And the other thing I would say is, above all else, we're called to love. Like that's the one thing that I think people need to truly remember is like above all other things we are called to love. I have I've done my share of sinning, um, by far. I'm sure I still sin. Not the way I used to, but it's one of those things where like I would hate for somebody to look at my past and judge me like, well, Steve, we now put you in this box because of things that you've done. And likewise, when I meet people who have been wherever they've been in life, like I don't use that scope to judge them. I look at, okay, where you at now? What are you doing right here in this moment? And where you trying to get to? And I base it on that and build relationships from there. But I'm gonna let this one finish. Like I said, I know I can be long winded. I enjoy this channel, this Tom MacDonald channel, because I get to have a conversation with him in a sense, a conversation with each of you, those who are hang around and listen. But it's like I enjoy sharing my views. I enjoy looking into the camera. I feel like I'm having a face-to-face conversation with each of you. Hopefully, it feels that way as well. But I'm gonna let this one wind out, say a few closing notes, and we'll keep moving.
Sticks in the stones.
Ooh, I like it. Video number 2 of my 24 hours of Tom MacDonald. Hope you enjoyed that one also. Go use the restroom. Go grab something to eat, drink, whatever you got to do. Do some quick catching up on the computer or whatever. And yeah, there'll be another video coming your way in less than an hour. Right? Every hour on the hour, I'll be dropping one for the next, I guess, 22 hours now? So, this is video 2 of 24. Steve Dab, 317. I hope you enjoy. Peace.